Hi guys, welcome back to Paper Over Pixels. If you're a subscriber and if you're new here, I'm Gina. You can find me on Instagram at The Wayward Chronicles, and that's more personal stuff that I post there, but this channel I wanted to kind of dedicate more to work planning. So happy new year, and thank you to all my new subscribers, and my apologies for not being able to get anything up. My struggle is I have so much personal client information in my planners for work, and I can't show any of that stuff. So it's really difficult to just create a video with all of this personal confidential information. So I'm going to try to work around that over the next few months, probably after tax season ends, which we all know never ends. But anyway, enough about that. So today I wanted to kind of go over what I use for my symbols while I'm planning for work. And sometimes I use a few of these for personal planning as well. So this is kind of the new work stack, but I will go over this towards the end. So we all know what the bullet journal method is, and we have those signifiers that explain this, that, or the other. Well, I've tweaked them to fit my style and my industry. So I'm an accountant by trade, and I wanted to kind of go over some of these symbols. So let's jump in. I'm just going to call these Gina's symbols. So we all have the circle for an event. I still use that. What I do is I kind of add, if it's a meeting, I put an M and then I just draw a box around it. This is my shorthand for I have a meeting. Task, I'm a backwards checkmark girl. This is completed. This is in progress. So I just started it, and this is all tasks. Sometimes I'll do it like this for in progress and just to start the task, but I usually always end up with the check mark if it's completed. So meeting, and then for a project, I do the same thing I do with a meeting. I just put a P with a box around it. When I'm working in my waste book, because this is my Bible, this I keep every single day. I keep it out on my desk. This is what's in front of me, not my actual planners, notebooks, etc., because this is where I have my actual work. It's messy. There's no thought process. It's not aesthetic. It is just a lot of jumble, highlighters, notes, symbols, things like that. Chaos, maps, brain dumps, you name it. So while I'm going through this throughout the day, if something is a project, it is something that's going to take me greater than 30 minutes, because in my industry, you can get one email that says, hey, can you go do XYZ for me? And the client doesn't know the difference or how long it's going to take or what research is required to complete that task. So the first thing I'll do is XYZ. And then if this is going to take me more than 30 minutes, I label it a project because I need focus time and I can't do that in under 30 minutes. So this is also what I use in my Gmail. In Gmail, I use what's called the stacking method, and I can drop the link below if you're interested in how that works. I actually tweak mine a little bit, so it's not just 6 or 7 folders. I still have a lot of folders, but I name them things like project, meetings, deadlines, delegated, things like that. So let's move on. This is, I delegated to my staff. So I use a lot of just letters with boxes around them, and it's so much easier for me while I'm going through my actual planning and work for the day. So this obviously is a migration, right? So to me, that's tomorrow. I do a double, which is next week. And then a triple arrow to the right is next month. And to me, I can say, okay, I can just move that to next month. I'm not going to worry about it right now. So to go backwards, yesterday, last week, and last month. I don't use these too often, but sometimes I do. So these basically are the same thing, just one's going forward, one's going backwards. I use this for a schedule. So that is to schedule a meeting, schedule a project, etc. Anything that is scheduled and needs to be scheduled. So if I have an event that comes up and I write it down really quickly in my planner and I need to add it to calendar. So that's basically what that is. And then when that's already scheduled in my calendar, I just mark it off. This is for us accounting, bookkeeping nerds. This is reconcile and reconciled. So if I need to reconcile bank XYZ, I'm going to do this. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other symbols that I use. Is text. My clients and I do text back and forth. So I just put that. This is a call. So this is they called me, and this is I called them. And then I'll just put name, whatever their name is. And so this is kind of what I use. I also use these in my personal planner. I use these in my personal planner. So things like that. These are kind of the main symbols that I actually use throughout the day. And this is work and personal. So they're kind of commingled for the most part. But I'm trying to think if I have any other ones. I don't think I use any more. These are pretty much the main ones that I use. Yeah. I think that's it. Sorry, brain dead. Okay, so I'm going to leave this kind of open and jump into this really quick. So I was in the Hobonichi Weeks Mega, and I have been in a Hobonichi Weeks Mega for about 5+ years. And this year is the first year that I have not gotten one, or the Hobonichi cousin on the personal side. For one, their prices just skyrocketed, and then with all the tariffs and the shipping, and I am moving at the end of this month, and so I didn't want anything coming into mail and potentially get lost and not get here in time. So I'm like, okay, they have April starts, right? So we'll just wait until April. No big deal. But I'm still on the fence about getting them because of the price. I'm trying to go through and use what I actually have, so things that are in my stash. So this is my waste book. It's a Rhodia top spiral, the only ones I use. This is a daily scratch pad. So I keep this open 24/7 at all times, and kind of hard to go through, but I'll do a quick flip and you can kind of see everything. Parking lots are in here, everything. These are flags that I use, and they are specific to particular projects, notes, staff, things like that I want to reference. So at the end of every month when I do my review, I like to give staff incentives if they've done really well. And I also send emails laying out new procedures, new processes, and things that they need to work on for the next period. Excuse me. So I only use the top spirals because I don't want the spirals getting in my way when I'm writing. And this is very messy. This is very chaotic. And I am just not a big spiral person on the sides. My niece actually does, and I just can't do it. So this is what's worked for me. I have tons of these. I like to buy them in bulk because when I'm ready for the next one, this I started in September and I'm already almost done with it. So this is what I have left, and we're January 1st. So yeah, scratch pad. I don't put like a to-do list in here. My to-do list is going to go in my bullet journal. This is, okay, I've already done my inbox triage. I've already laid out what I need to actually work on. If I have open issues from my staff, those are the things I'm going to tackle first, anything that's under 30 minutes. And I'll say, okay, go add this bank account in QuickBooks. Okay, I need to update this chart of account over here. Things that are going to take just a couple of minutes to actually do. And then I just make a note of that. Client A, updated COA to blah, and done. Later, at the end of the day, I will go back and add things to my bullet journal. So Wastebook, 100% a must. I recommend it. My work planning system is not very aesthetic, so it's a little neater than this, I will say that. But I don't use a lot of stickers. There's no fancy lettering, which I actually did at the end of December. I tried it and I didn't like the way it looked. It just didn't fit in with this work style for me. But this is a Roterfaden A5. I've had this for about 7 years and I use it in different ways, but I love that it has inserts where, like a traveler's notebook, you can flip out your inserts and just keep the cover. So this is a notepad. I've got sticky notes here. This is a beautiful felt. Not sure if you can actually see it, pen out of the way, but this is really nice and it's soft. This is a Wanderings A5 folio in burgundy because for some reason for 26 I wanted everything red. So my personal stuff, I just got some stuff for Christmas that's red. And so this just has sticky notes, page flags, and then some little stickers. I think these came from Wonderland 222 a while back. This is just a blank one that doesn't have anything in it. And then I have my, what do you call this, pencil board, and then just some little cards. And this is holding some little teeny paper clips. I like it because it does have a pen holder and I can put a highlighter in here if I want to. So we'll rip this apart. And I'm not picky like everybody else if things stick out of the side, as long as it's not, you know, sticking out an inch or so. So these are the MD paper Midori notebooks in grid, my apologies. So these are inserts and I bought an entire box of them. This is an actual diary from Midori as well. And then I have a insert here for project notes. So this is the diary. It has monthly calendars and I think it only goes to January. So it's kind of similar to the Hobonichis and other planners out there. So you have 25 and then an annual calendar for 26. And then you have all of the monthlies. So this is January. This is the last month. So here, I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, but I'll probably do an insert, which I believe I already started. And here, which is my monthly and weeklies. So I have December, and then I can do the weeks. These are the weekly layouts. So if you remember from my last video on the Hobonichi weeks, my schedule is my actual schedule. And that information comes from my Wastebook because I timestamp. 8:07, I will inbox triage. And then 8:15, And then I take that and I usually lay it out. So this is copied from my Hobonichi weeks. So this is the weekly actual schedules. I'll usually put tasks down here. These I have not filled out and that's okay. This was this last week. So now I can do January's calendar as opposed to actually using the one in the diary because I want to keep them kind of all together. So this is a monthly and weekly insert. This is my task manager. And just to talk briefly about this, what is in my inbox goes in here. And then from here, it's going to move throughout my bullet journal. Eventually, the actuals are going to happen here in the Wastebook. But I love to list major projects, especially things that are going to take a little while. As you can see, there's a lot going on. And I actually kind of color code. These are projects, cleanup, schedule, deadlines, things like that. So my little R for reconciled. These are my symbols, SOAPs, SOPs. That's the other one, Q for QA reviews. So it's just a Q with a box around it. And this is task manager. So everything kind of goes in here. So think of it as like a master task list. It's like your inbox. And the reason I take everything from my inbox and put it here is because I don't want to live inside my Gmail account. That is so distracting. And I know people that can literally sit in email for 8 hours a day doing this kind of work, and I wouldn't get anything done. I absolutely wouldn't get anything done. So I check my inbox. I triage first thing in the morning. That's the first thing I do, because triage is I'm organizing it. What do I need to do with this? Is this something I can answer right away, less than 5 minutes? Is this a project that's going to take more than 30 minutes? Do I need to delegate this? Okay, let me reply. I have a label in Gmail that says reply to remind, and then I'll do a reply and schedule it if it's early. Clients are all over the US, so it depends on the time zone, but I will schedule send as well. And so when I go through my inbox, I can say, okay, I'm going to start with my one-offs that are going to take less than 30 minutes. And I will add those in here, because we all know we all get interrupted throughout the day. I'm not going to go and keep checking my inbox, because we all know when we do that, we have new emails, and then you're prompted to, oh my gosh, I need to read it. Oh my gosh, I need to reply. And oh my goodness, and then you're stuck again in that never ending rabbit hole of an email inbox. And I'm not doing that. So I check it in the morning, first thing in the morning. I check it at noon. I do replies at noon. And then I check it again from 3 to 5, the end of the day. And usually it's about 3 o'clock, 3:30, and I'll send my final replies for the day. The rest are going to wait until the next morning. And so that's kind of what goes in here in the task manager. This is my monthly and weekly. Monthly is your basic overview of deadlines, sales tax deadlines, payroll deadlines, things like that. So just a quick jot, if there is a special deadline that comes up, I need to create custom procedures for XYZ by the 28th. I want to make sure I have that in here, because it's not going to sit visibly in my inbox or anywhere else. So I need to notate that. And yes, I have the task in the front, which most people would probably put the monthly, the weekly, and then the dailies, but my master task list goes in the front. So that's just kind of particular for me. Daily bullet journal. So usually just create in pencil a line going down and splitting it. So each page has 2 days. Sometimes I can run over from one day to the next, but I usually don't, because I simplify things in here. So this is just kind of what it looks like. You can kind of get a quick idea of, kind of how I write all my tasks. So I'm going to use this until it's filled up, and I have tons of pages here to kind of use up, and I don't want to grab another insert for that. So this is the pretty thick one, and this is project notes. So these are projects that I have ongoing that take more than 30 minutes. Some of them can take a couple of weeks. I've had one that took 8 months. So these are the steps. They get outlined in here, and I constantly update and review. So can't really show it because I have a lot of information in here. And of course, this is a nice back pocket, but I don't have anything in it. So this is where I'm going into, or what I'm going into 26 with. As you can see, I mean, it fits pretty well. And put this over. I've had this for so long that I think it's just kind of used to getting skinny and then getting fat again. But yeah, so these are my symbols that I use throughout the day for both personal and business. And hopefully this can work for you. If not, try to tweak it towards what you're doing, what your industry is. But this really works. So Gina's shorthand, and I think that's a wrap for today. I hope everybody has a great new year. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And hopefully I can get something else up for you soon. And if you guys have any ideas of what you would like to see more of, I can try to create dummies of these as well. Let me know. We could definitely brainstorm together and figure something out, but just let me know what you're more interested in seeing and what you need help with on that end, and I will do my best to accommodate. Thanks, guys, and I hope you guys have a good one. Bye.